Alright. We should be live. Let's see. We should be live. Let's see. Am I live? I think I should be live. I should be good. Yep, I'm live. Look at that. I'm live. Let's go. Let's hear. How do I sound? Let me see. We are watching the Final Shape watch along today. Do I sound good? I sound good. Alright. Then we're gonna see how the audio does it. So, currently they're recapping all the events that have happened in Destiny. We're currently in Witch Queen. So we're just gonna
now what?
Turn this up and see how that
we prepare
goes.
For the witness
if the audio
and stop
is
the
good.
next collapse.
Hello? Okay, yes, that should all be good. The audio is good. There's our witness boy. Big man Megamind. Hell yeah! I love how those little hands. We have seen enough. The children are crying. The little cunnies. I am coming with smoke. Oh. You were only a bitch traveler. I'm going to punch you. Enough death. Enough life. Enough depression. I'm going to bring you salvation. Oh. Alright. I'm excited, man. Last year was a good showcase. Lightfall fucking sucked. It was not good. At all. So, you know, let's see what this stream will bring. This time. There is no escape. We are referring to the veil. Using knowledge from Sabaton, blah blah blah. Yep, Season of the Risen, Season of the Hunt, Season of Plunder, Season of the Seraph. I love Season of the Seraph, man. I love Season of the Seraph. Oh, this cutscene. This is such a good cutscene. This is such a good cutscene. I love this cutscene, man. Yeah. Oh. Like, I thought, when I saw this for the first time, I thought that Lightfall was gonna be a banger. Like, this might be the greatest cutscene in the whole game. It was so good. It was so good, man. Amazing.
It's happening again.
It's happening again. The Whirldick. We whirlwinds all over the place. I'm Aramis. I'm gonna suck your cock, Traveler! Oh no! The Traveler's coming up! Ooh! I'm like moist critical. Except I'm critical of the Traveler. This is such a good cutscene, man. I love the music. Every time I'm writing about my book that I'm going to make, I put up the music for the ending for my book.
The war stats.
This is the same music I use. The music is so good in this fucking cutscene, man. Aramis, you must not come.
If you care at all for our people, if there is anything left in your heart,
Witness all over the place. Sex. I don't know why I said that. I'm just saying random shit. I love how the witness all over.
make it known your pain.
May it know your dick. Your cock and balls. And
Foris.
I love this cutscene, man. This is such a good cutscene. Fuck man, I love this so much. I'm gonna miss this era. Because after Final Shape, I'm done. I'm probably done with Destiny. So, if anybody doesn't know, community sentiment has been just terrible. I don't think it has ever been this bad. Why did it leave? And then Lightfall starts.
Nowhere else to run.
And then Lightfall starts. Oh yeah, those weapons they never brought out. Lightfall, more like Midfall. More like Destiny Has Fallen. From Grace. Witch Queen was so good, man. Holy fuck.
Keep the enemy away from the traveler.
Keep the enemy away from the traveler. At all costs. Oh, fuck off, fly. Oh, there's a fly here. Bullshit. I am witnessing all over the place. I remember playing this, man. I did not have that much fun as with Witch Queen. I did not enjoy it as much as Witch Queen. Oh man, Zavala. We miss you. We miss you, man. You got a new voice actor though. BOOM! The Traveler is coming! He's coming! Oh my god! Oh god, he's coming all over the place. Look, white countries. Oh, come versus come. The witness is going to get that Traveler, is he? That Traveler pussy. He's coming to impregnate the Traveler. The portal is just the baby of the Traveler. Oh, hell yeah.
What is that?
What is that? The Witness. Bom, 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 bom. I am witnessing. Amanda! So, what is the chance that Final Shape is actually good? Because I'm coming in this more neutral than ever before. I am not getting hyped. I am not getting hyped, okay? And did they stitch these cutscenes together? No, okay, they didn't. Disciple, you know what must become. Callous.
They found the veil.
We're in no
How do they
position to
even know
engage the
that?
enemy.
We don't have a choice. We're out of time.
Osiris. Don't die.
Like, this whole expansion was so incredibly mid. Yeah, Lightfall was so incredibly mid. Holy shit, this expansion sucked. The story was so bad.
No more running away. Rest now.
So are they going to fix the story? Because like the story is the only thing I care about, to be frank.
The uglier they are, the harder they fall, right?
So I wonder how they're going to do this time.
We finally
come to you.
Get your ghost.
What's wrong, Osiris?
Get your ghost out of there.
Finality takes shape.
It's creating the link.
What even happened here? Where the fuck did we get that gun from? Spoilers! Spoilers! Wow, so much detail. Nimbus is so sexy.
What just happened?
Nimbus is such a sexy guy. Holy shit.
We just lost.
Fuck Rowan though, he's too old for my cock.
Zavala. Come in.
I will get hyped if they give the Witness a nuke. I mean, he does have a nuke, to be honest. He kind of is a nuke. But a nuke would be cute. I would love the city for it to be nuked. That would be fucking amazing. You more than any have suffered enough costs. Are they gonna reveal the Witness cutscene? You don't even need to buy the expansion anymore. You can just watch these cutscenes. You don't even need the expansion anymore. You don't. You don't need the expansion anymore. You can just play this and you're done. You don't need to give this shitty company $50. So are they going to show this cutscene? Oh, they're going to show this, alright.
The Witness has
The
moved
Witness
beyond our reach.
has gone beyond our own comfort. So what's in that portal? That's Joker, by the way. Not Darkseid Reality Joker, but just Joker. He's a Titan. He's pretty famous. Not sure why they gave him that gear, but alright.
All attempts to follow it have failed.
I'm gonna put it a little high. Alright. Season of Redacted. And oh, what's that? Our journey continues. So what's that? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Zavala. Lance Rhetoric. Thank you, Zavala. Thank you. What is the chat saying? Rip Lance, yeah. Rip, rest in peace.
I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness.
Alright, boys! Let's do it! Let's get hyped!
Oh my gosh, where are we?
The music.
Let's get hyped. Let's do it. Let's do it, man.
All ends and beginnings.
Alright. I'm hyped, man.
Battle stations!
Battle stations.
Alright, game over, credits.
Holy crap.
About time we go to the moon.
Was that a darkest ship behind Okora?
So happy Eris is back.
We are you.
Your Saldikian.
Wait.
The line between life
Oh,
and
Beyond
death
Light.
is so
Beyond Light was
deep.
so cool, man.
Let's
I
put
loved
it
stages.
together.
I loved playing that. That was great. I never played this. It got sunset. Witch Queen! Witch Queen was amazing. Hello, Travel Danielle. VTubers in my destiny.
What is he doing? No way.
Oh my god, was?
Alright, we're gonna set this a bit harder. Then it's all good. Alright. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1! Let's go!
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like many of you, I've been playing games as long as I can remember.
Hey,
They're
Joe
a core
Blackburn.
part of what makes me who I am. I believe there's this deeply rooted, often unstated mission of games to keep adventure alive. In 2014, Bungie set out to start a new adventure. Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent god set in our sky. And it wouldn't be long before an ancient enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us. Over the years, our heroes would shape a story far greater than anything we could have imagined. Players would explore deep into the depths of Venus, hunting a machine god that controlled time itself. They'd invent ways to combine their mythic weaponry and their paracausal abilities
Amazing.
to stand alone against monsters that took others an entire elite squad. They'd race alongside their friends far into the early morning in the halls of an ancient city where only a select few emerged victorious at dawn,
Yep.
clutching the heart of a dragon. But most importantly, they'd bring their friends and their family into this world.
Remember
and
when they
together
had that
make new
campaign?
faces on this adventure who would become lifelong
I
companions.
love the music. They're
Now,
playing the music.
Together, we approach the final shape. We're about to embark
Mid-fall.
on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga. So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape, you will go inside the Traveler. The journey will be difficult. And what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open betas. There aren't going to be any guides on the internet telling you how to handle what's to come.
Wait.
Whether you've been with us from the beginning,
What?
joined us somewhere along the road, or
What?
looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this same uncharted world, a vacuum-sealed experience begging for you to be the first person to peel it open.
What?
So today is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
What?
After all these years, we never talked about it. Why I brought you back.
What?
Why you were chosen.
What? Some bracers.
The truth is, I didn't know then.
Wait, is this about why we are resurrected?
It
Galord!
was just a feeling.
Oh my god, this looks great, by the
But
way.
I know now. After all we've seen,
Gabe! There he is!
all we've lost,
What?
this fight might be our last.
What?
So I'm asking you one last time to rise.
What? The final shape! What? That looks awesome! Become Legend! The original tag!
This is a momentous time in Destiny history.
That looked
We've been
awesome!
building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey.
Don't fuck
this is a
this
moment in
up.
gaming that, as a developer, you just don't get very
Don't
often.
fuck this up.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
When we were thinking of what the final shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation with the Witness that we've been setting up for years. It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard. It has to be this place that like makes you feel nostalgic for the entire journey you've been on.
When we were resurrected by Ghost at the very beginning of this story, we didn't know why, but it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help. And it's our responsibility to protect every living thing in the universe from what the Witness intends to do.
The lore
When we first
intensifies!
start the final shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Inside is the pale heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown with the Witness.
The Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection to it. The pale heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
The Witness looks around and sees a lack of purpose, no meaning. It wants to fix all that. So it's trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where everything's just exactly how it thinks it's supposed to be. That is the final shape.
If we're going to defeat the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're gonna need the Vanguard, all of our allies, and all the Guardians to rally together and be brave in the face of Oblivion.
In the final shape, we're going to answer questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey.
Really?
Where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala,
You're really going
Ikora,
to do
our
that?
Ghost, get to reconnect with Cayde 6. So, like, while there's this great conflict and everything going on around us and stakes of just unimaginable heights, it's still at the end a story told around campfires by a bunch of companions who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
So,
In the final shape, we're going through the portal that the Witness has opened up to confront it and stop the final shape. Inside the Traveler is this infinite, vast, unknowable, and we're landing on the Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
The Pale Heart is weird. It's a little strange. It makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. And it is also just so cool and artistic in the best way.
The Witness entered well ahead of any Guardians And so it's had time to kind of shape what's there. When our Guardian enters, the rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
Oh.
This is the Traveler recreating the world in front of you as it saw on your journey.
Okay.
One of the most memorable locales from Destiny's past is the D1 Tower. It's really a labor of love from the Destiny team. The final shape means so much to everyone who's building it, and I think players are really going to be able to see that.
The Pale Heart is our very first linear destination that we've ever done. I would love it if players felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger, in surrealness, because there is this beautiful evolution of the space.
They see things that are more and more wrong as they begin to go towards the Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent, foreboding thing off in the distance.
The weirdest things happen as you get closer to the monolith in the form of reshaping. Kind of like deconstructing things and putting them back together just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these spaces and you're jumping on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel tiny as a Guardian. You feel alone. You feel like you are not the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
What is that?
One of the things that we really tried to also capture is that the Witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the Subjugators.
What?
What are
those?
The new unit you're going to be facing in the final shape.
Strand.
They have an enhanced power set. They're performing stasis powers and strand powers to face the Guardian, well, in support of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
So okay, so it's not a new race.
The battlefield, which is kind of this element of control.
They're back there pinging away with stasis abilities, throwing crystals at you, freezing you in place, tangling you up.
Okay. So it's like fighting Hive Guardians.
We're focusing you on the campaign and only the campaign. It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And for that, we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora and Cayde.
The campaign is just the start of the Pale Heart. After you've reached the monolith and finished the campaign, we open up the entire destination. And so the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
Really? Really?
The campaign in the final shape doesn't really end with the final mission. The raids are where you defeat the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the Witness, you're going to do that in the raid. But that might not be enough. This is a moment where we need to rally all Guardians to be able to overcome the final shape and the Witness.
Wow. This looks so different. Harnessing the light.
In the final shape, we are inside the Traveler, very close to this energy. This allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We want to create something that turns into an offensive powerhouse, but also can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds.
Whoa!
The Warlock Super is this ultimate expression of solar energy coursing through your Guardian. This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's like all these projectiles going off, doubling the amount of projectiles. Your grenade almost being sentient as it searches around, and then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And you're so overflowing with this energy that you are also giving it to your allies, allowing them to have their solar weapons
that's really
supercharged,
supportive then.
applying Scorch when they're shooting.
The new Solar Warlock aspect, when I cast my Rift, it is going to create this little solar soul that when it sees an enemy, it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
It just feels very alive. Twilight Arsenal. It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies, throws it. And when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground or an enemy, do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe sticks around and you and your allies can go and pick up that axe and start wailing on enemies with it.
This super is insane to me.
The Void Titan aspect, I press and hold my grenade button to consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates this blast that deals massive damage.
Okay.
The Hunter Arc super.
Arc is all about finding the shortest distance between 2 points. The Hunter kind of rears back, takes this knife and throws it across the world, and then is able to blink to its position, do the slash that just decimates anyone nearby.
One really great thing about that is
that looks
not
cool
just
though.
You do
I
it
would
once,
love to
but you're
use
able
that.
to do it 3 times, along with devastating attacks each time you do it.
The Hunter has an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which amplifies you and any allies near you.
It almost makes it feel like you're playing a fighting game, right? Like these combos that you're chaining together to do these different moves. It like takes that sandbox to the next level.
The more aspects we have, the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like riding the lightning, you know? Like that instantaneous, like...
That's
good,
cool.
but I think it's more like...
That's gonna be really good in PvP.
You
That's
know?
gonna be really good in PvP.
Weapons team has been working on all sorts of goodness. We've got exotics, we've got legendaries, we've got perks. We're always cooking up stuff. We're always playing with stuff that we think is like really interesting or taking inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It has the really intriguing property of adapting your Guardian's current damage type.
This will be the first time that you can run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot. So you'll be able to run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout.
Really?
Tessellation has the additional property that you can special reload to reshape your grenade and suck it into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile.
Oh, that's cool!
That's a really
oh, that's
weapon.
fucking
What's the one
awesome!
specific exotic that I can make that's like really zany that you would like right now?
What if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler Beam cutscene.
No way you're making this into exotic.
You're like, that is
no
incredibly
fucking
dope.
way!
So we've got this
No
opportunity to
way!
bring back these iconic Destiny 1 weapons, but really turn it into something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
We have to bring Kvotstov into the fold.
The Red Death exotic pulse rifle.
And Dragon's Breath.
Really?
Burn the world, burn it all.
That's so cool.
In the final shape, we have new weapon subfamilies coming, broadening what existing weapons can be.
Really like bordering on exotic functionality. So for example, we've got a rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We always liked the special ammo sidearms. This fires tiny, slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard.
Oh, that's
AoE
cool.
damage.
I'm not sure if I would play
They
it,
have
but
a mixture of regular
that's gonna be
weapon
really good
and
for
rocket launcher
ad clear.
stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies. I'm really excited to bring it to dungeons and keep my team alive, honestly.
The weapons team is always coming up with new ideas. We've got a ton of new cool stuff coming over the next few years, and some new and really wild ideas, which we're pretty excited about.
alright, okay. That seems awesome, man.
Come on, take a load off. We've got a lot to cover. This place is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so... I'm back! Hey, you two, give me a sec.
Yep, Cade
I
6.
was magnificent.
They're bringing back Cade 6, boy!
Rock? Get your rock off my map. Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
I don't fuck Cade up.
Well, better get back to it.
In this moment where we're driving to the end of the Light and Darkness saga, it's great to see Cade like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long-standing enemy.
So to bring
the Witness.
Cade back.
Cade is the quintessential hunter. His presence casts such a long shadow over the story of
How are they
Destiny,
going to do
whether
this
it
with
was when he was
Crow?
alive or when he was dead.
What Cade goes through in this journey, how he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to have brought him back. This is how the story had to end. There was no end to the Light and Darkness saga that didn't have Cade here alongside his friends to finish the job.
Okay.
Once we started digging into the nature of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cade's role as a guide. Cade is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other
Cade
place.
is Virgil,
Cade is the one who
and
is
he is
the
our
most appropriate
god.
person to be the god,
What
'cause
the
that's his job.
fuck?
That's always been his job. It just feels so natural for Nathan to be back in the booth. It felt amazing.
Nathan
to
is back.
Just see him
Hell
slip
yeah.
back into the role like without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cade's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together. Having him back puts them in a position of
this is
questioning
gonna be
where
great.
they've been and what they've done without him.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on and how he's been taken down this dark path, and you think about the weight that's been on Ikora, having to hold the Vanguard together, having Cade's voice of levity and brightness that he brings to that group. I think it's going to be great for them.
Well, at least we have each other.
We want people to take away that sense of reunion and that idea of like the gang being back together for this moment.
I'm here now.
Could have been really good if they
Where the
didn't
hell here
sunset
is?
all content. Could have been really good if you didn't delete half of the game. So are you gonna talk about how you bring back the game? Is this everything? Unlocking the path.
Guardian, the Witness poses a dire threat.
No way! Zebu! Zebu!
Holds the answers we seek, but only if we contend with her sister, Zebu Araf. It rests with me. Will you come back from this? Do not be afraid.
Bring me your tithes.
You now wield Hive magic and have entwined it with your light. Assault the Spire, Guardian, and open the way.
Oh, I'm going to love this season.
Let them know fear. The deck of whispers, and they do whisper. Fight in my name, Guardian.
So that's it for final
Every
shape?
opponent you defeat
There's nothing more?
strengthens me.
We're not talking about a new subclass or anything?
My appetite rises for your brutal tributes.
So there's no new subclass?
Let us show her what it is to be Hive.
So Eris turns into a hive.
You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch is our opportunity as players. We've been annihilating and breaking Hive spells, and now we finally get to cast them.
At the end of Season of the Deep, we learn that Savathun has the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find Imaru, her ghost. Imaru's like, not so fast. We've got a bigger problem first, and that bigger problem's name is Xivu Arath. If we fight her, she only gets stronger. Eris has an idea. It's a really
good
It's
idea.
a wild ass idea, yeah. She determines like, well, the best way to fight fire is with fire. We are channeling all of that energy that we're creating by going
Eris
through,
becomes
by
a
eliminating
hive.
enemies, and we're tithing to
That
our
is
friend
the
Eris.
coolest shit ever.
What does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We want to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power, that risk and reward into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so that's what led us to come up with things like Deck of Whispers.
Deck of
It's
Whispers.
this magical deck of cards that creates amazing synergies with your buildcraft meta and with buffs and the activities.
They can then choose these cards at will, whichever ones they want, and then that really leans into the build crafting.
You actually are getting cards that you can then use to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
I'm such a sucker for deck building. Like being able to like bring that element into Destiny gameplay has just been like, oh, chess.
Yeah, oh,
it's really
super
fun.
Really? So how does that work?
So we've got 2 brand new seasonal activities coming with Season of the Witch. We've got Altars of Summoning and Savathun's Spire.
Savathun's Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot more with the Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun's Spire, was like her reliquary for all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun. The Altar of Summoning's activity is really exciting because you can spend like 20 minutes in it or you can spend 2 hours in it.
It's a 3-player
2
experience
hours.
that you can hop in and hop out of. As you're going through this activity, you're filling the tithing bucket. As that tithing bucket is filled up, you'll get progressively more rewards. And then finally at the end, it'll cash out and you'll get a whole mess of rewards.
Oh, that's awesome.
We really wanted to make sure that there was a home for any exotic mission content coming in seasons after the year has passed. And so we developed what we're calling the exotic mission rotator.
Yes, you told
Right away,
us
we're getting
already.
Presage, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield.
This is some of the most fun content the team has making. It's some of the content the fans and players of Destiny love the most. The
Uh-huh.
most exciting thing,
Yeah,
outside
but
of just the missions
what about-
themselves, is that
what
every
about
time we
all
put a
the-
mission inside of that rotator, the exotic that comes alongside of it will become
I don't know,
crafted.
man. I'm kind of underwhelmed. I don't...
With Season of the Witch, we have a brand new Vex lo-fi PvP map.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really
Oh
exciting. It's
my
got a
God,
bunch
they
of,
made a new
really tight
PvP
gameplay
map.
experiences. We wanted to make sure that we focus the combat a little bit more. With the new Vex network map, we really wanted to make sure we hit is like, hey, you're shoulder to shoulder more often. There's not as much
They're really
deep sight
talking
lines
about
that you're
this.
interacting with. And a lot of the flow of the map is actually built around this like kind of central pillar of the Vex network that you're orienting around.
Nobody
And
cares.
there's also some modes coming too, right?
We've got a new PvP game mode coming that's all about relics. It's about multiple relics, so it's not just one like the Scorch game mode from the
Alright.
past. So we've got the shield coming from Vault of Glass, we've got the spear back from Season of the Risen.
And we got the scythe from Season of the Haunted.
Yeah, so you're gonna be reaping
I love
Guardians
the
with that
scythe.
thing. It's a lot more tactical gameplay. It's all about running around the map, claiming these relic dispensers, and then grabbing them in order to push for victory.
I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist.
We were feeling pretty hivey this season, obviously. There's something in the air. And so when thinking about like what's a good raid reprisal that would really suit this very hivey season,
Oh, it's gonna be...
there's only one answer.
Yep, it's going to be Grotus. It's Grotus, it's not Scourge. It's Grotus, alright.
I have seen what the Hive call a god.
It's Grotus. Alright. So are you going to add encounters, or is it just going to be like the shortest raid ever? Wait! Wait, that armor! Wait, look at the armor. Wait, the armor. That's that one armor. That's real cool armor set.
Is wrath.
Oh, I need to get that armor. I need that armor right fucking now. I need that. United Re-Rise.
Heading into the final shape, we really want to rally all Guardians at the end of the Light and Darkness saga. We want to reduce those power barriers, as well as catch people up on key story beats and make sure that they have
that's
a
really
great
important.
and easy time connecting with other players. In the final shape, we're trying to find ways to make power more simple and easy to understand, and also lowering the barrier to entry.
So you're reworking
It's going to make
power.
it easier for players who have not been able to jump into game easily because they were held back by the challenges in grinding for the power levels that are required by these different activities.
One of the major changes that's going to be happening starting with the final shape is there are going to be a certain number of activities that are going to be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach it. There's still going to be tiers of difficulty that you can do, things that are just meant to be experienced a certain way.
Things like Nightfall strikes that will still have power enabled, and that's where we're really going to focus the whole power climb.
The raids, the contest modes that everybody loves to engage with, that experience is fundamentally going to be staying the same.
I'm excited for this because I think there will be a lot more clarity for players in terms of understanding
So how are you
the
going to
relative
do this?
difficulty of things, where they sit now in the spectrum.
One way that we're trying to do that is making it easier for new players to engage with you. So we're introducing something that we're calling Fire Team Power.
You can actually bring your friends along to play any dungeons and raids in the
Oh,
game
really?
without having to wait them to be at a certain power level.
Thank you.
The person with the
Thank
highest
you.
power in your fire team is actually going to bring all the others close to their
Yes.
power level, which
Thank
means that
you.
there's
You
no
don't
barriers
need to
really for
fucking
any other
kill
guardian
me.
to join you in this high-level content.
When it's combined with Fireteam Finder, it also allows you to find strangers, people you've never played with before, and have that same experience. That's all regardless of the power level of you and the rest of the people in your fire team.
Fireteam Finder is the new feature that's coming in Season 23, aimed at
You talked
helping
about
connect
this.
and find other people to complete the best and most aspirational content in
You talked
Destiny.
about this
We have
last-
a tag system that allows players
You-
to be
you
able
talked
to say,
already
well,
talked about
this
this.
is my play style. I'm really chill. I'm anti-sweat. I'm just really here to have a good time. Exactly.
I don't-
Really allows
you
players
talked
to
about
show a
this.
little bit more personality, show a little bit more about what they're about. I think what's really great about it is with this launch, we're also looking at including inclusion tags.
As an example, one of the inclusion tags that we have are for colorblind players. Hopefully the inclusion tags will bring players closer to finding their community and even closer to the people that they're playing with. So once a listing goes live, players will be put into a listing lobby where players can gather, they can communicate with each other. So we wanted to make it as convenient and as easy as possible for players to not just sit and stare at a screen for a long time while their listing actually fills up.
As a gamer who's typically more solo, I'm especially excited about this because it really is about helping reduce that anxiety and burden that comes with trying to make a new connection.
Okay. Okay.
The feature coming out today that I'm incredibly excited about is Timeline Reflections. Essentially what we have done is we've went back to previous expansions and pulled out missions that we felt really represent key beats within our story. We are going to have a mission for Forsaken, a mission for Beyond Light, as well as a mission for Witch Queen.
Thanks for the memories, Guardian.
The neat thing about these missions is they're not going to be like one-to-one for how you would experience them in the campaign. You're also going to get additional pieces of narrative fed to you to like identify like, hey, this is why it's important that this happened, and here are the people you met along the way.
A really big one that's really timely for Final Shape is Cade's last stand from Forsaken. This is a moment that a lot of players, new and old, are going to come back to Destiny. I think this is just the right time to introduce features that are going to allow those players to jump right in and find people to play with and enjoy this content regardless of their power level.
Okay. That seems fine. All ends.
We're reaching the end of
beginnings.
this 10-year journey. What comes next?
Yeah, what
The
comes
episodes.
next?
And the new way we're going to tell stories moving forward.
What's really important about episodes is that it's a really big shakeup to what we've been doing. Instead of providing 4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so the first 3 episodes in this coming year are called Echoes,
Revenant,
and Heresy.
Heresy.
It's coming right after the final shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the final shape. I think what's really the cornerstone of the episode model that we're building is the 3-act structure. The acts act as these anchors for us to introduce new weapons, new artifact mods, new activities. There's going to be new missions coming around the core. There'll be new story moments in every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the final shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
These new stories are actually playable as standalone. Like each episode is something you can experience, whether you've been playing Destiny for 10 years or this is your first one.
You're going to be able to basically enjoy them in any order you want to.
I think the opportunity with this big epic moment is that we get to innovate the game. We get to move the game forward.
It's all about change frequently. It's all about deeper story moments. It's all about more weapons, more loot, more often. And it really provides the team with a platform to go much deeper into the themes and fantasies and story of any individual episode as compared to the seasons you know of today.
I'm so excited to see what the narrative team can do with this kind of new platform of storytelling. Episodes provides this awesome foundation for the future of Destiny.
We're moving into the next stage of Destiny 2. I think some people look at the final shape and they think Destiny 2 is coming to the end. And in many ways, it's the opposite. We're leaning in. We're putting the pedal to the metal. Episodes provide us a new, innovative way for players to engage with Destiny 2 throughout the year.
Okay.
What makes a guardian a guardian? Devotion, bravery, sacrifice. We know that we were chosen for a reason, by something greater than ourselves.
Guardian. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian.
Shaped by the fires of each new battle, we are forged and sharpened into what we must become for the fight ahead. We are the final line that halts the second collapse.
All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock. Every Hunter.
What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery.
Bravery inspires sacrifice.
Sacrifice leads to death.
The line between light and dark is so very thin.
Okay. Huh.
Let's cross it together.
There are things out in the dark that only the dark can overcome. Trust me.
You've heard the stories of the Traveler's sacrifice, of darkness descending upon humanity.
Our purpose is its end.
Yeah, Witness.
This time, there is no escape.
Become legend.
It's going to be an exciting year for Guardians. We get to make good on a promise that we made way back in 2014. There was classic rock blasting, a fire team racing across our solar system, and at the end, a simple message: become legend. Today, you got a glimpse at how we'll be cementing your legend in this upcoming year. We're going to be heading inside the Traveler, experiencing a destination unlike anything we've ever built before. We'll face the biggest bad we've ever made, and we'll do this all alongside a streamlined progression system, allowing us to easily play with friends in any content in the game. And as the dust settles in the final shape, we're going to continue our legends in Echoes. It's Destiny's first episode in a new phase of storytelling for Guardians with brand new conflicts born from the resolution of the Light and Darkness saga. These first episodes are just the beginning. But if you're chomping at the bit to see how the Light and Darkness saga is going to kick off the future of Destiny 2, we've got a ton of great content for you to jump into today. Going live after this, we've got Season of the Witch, with a new story, new weapons, new armor, new activities, and new PvP content, all alongside a series of story catch-up missions, allowing any of your friends to jump into the game and get up to speed on what's happening in this world. Then, next week, a brutal reprisal of Crota's End is going to join the ranks of our aspirational content. I can't wait to see you all in the Throne World as we learn more about the final shape and how we can stop it.
Okay. That seems... It seems fine. It seems fine.
Do not be afraid. Bring me your tithes.
After all these years, all we've lost, this fight might be our last. So I'm asking you to rise one last time.
Okay. Collector's Edition reveal. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna buy it, but what is the chat thinking? What is the chat thinking?
When we create a collector's edition, we try and recreate items from the universe for players to enjoy outside of the game. So this year we're doing the Destiny 1 tower.
Oh, okay.
We really tried to work hard at thinking
What's Jan
about
thinking?
10 years of Destiny and how best to encapsulate that experience.
Even as a game dev who've worked on it since day one, like I think having it be the tower is super exciting for us because it's going to kind of catalog your journey of a player from when you first started playing Destiny all the way to now. The tower, it's kind of like the beacon in which you're a place you can call home.
You get the tower,
They're going to
and then
spend
there
money.
are actual figures of the Vanguard mentors that accompany that architectural model.
And there's a lot of like hidden messages and hidden things.
There's gonna be some fun surprises. We're always trying to push the envelope. And so we've been playing a lot with magnetic locks and sound effects, and lights, just sort of make this experience as a whole really special. It's sort of the perfect symbol of Destiny. I'm so excited for it.
Me too.
All right, I'm not gonna buy it. Please don't buy this. It's way too much. The final shape. Oh, I love the sound. It looks cinematic as hell. 2/24/24. All right. We're gonna watch the post show. I want to see what kind of questions they are gonna ask. Well, alright. Here are my thoughts. It looks fine. It looks average. It's what I would expect of the bare minimum. It didn't blow my mind. It didn't surprise me. It's just alright. And it's kind of regrettable. I'm not nearly as hyped as I was a year ago. So, I must say that it looks mid. I mean, I can't wait for the campaign, but it looks... Oh, they're putting on the Destiny music. It looks alright. Post show. Alright, let's see. That's a bit loud. I love how they put in Destiny music. I'm really wondering how the other content creators are gonna react to this. It looks fine. Nothing too special, to be honest. I'm really wondering how they're going to shake up the main game. What is chat thinking? What is chat thinking? So I'm pretty sure I saw leaks about getting a new subclass. Yeah, what happened to the new subclass? What happened? Where did it go? Where did that new subclass go? No new subclass? Yeah, looks fine. Looks fine. Doesn't look too special, to be honest. But yeah, certainly looks like something. Oh, are they finally going to start? Okay, begins in 1 minute. I love how they're reusing the old music, that's great. Alright, I'm wondering what they're gonna say.
Hello, Guardians. Welcome to the post-show stream. My name is Taylor Liz. I'm a Destiny 2 player and content creator. I'm excited to be here live at Bungie. We're gonna have 2 segments for you today. A little later in the show, I'll be playing through the brand new Season of the Witch content with my good friend, Pika Peach. Right now, let's sit down with Bungie developers to talk more about what we just saw and what's next for the future of Destiny 2. Pika, over to you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. My name is Pika, and I'm also a content creator and Destiny 2 fan.
I don't care. Where's
you can
Dado?
often find Taylor and I playing together in some sort of challenge in-game. I'm beyond honored to be sitting down with everyone here today, so let's do some more introductions.
Thank you, Pika. It's great to have you here. Hi, my name is Cosmo. I'm the lead community role here at Bungie, and my role is supporting our amazing community team and all the great work they do, helping prepare weekly check-ins and sending info out to our players. I'm going to be teaming up with Pika today, and we're going to be asking some of these guys some questions and go over some of the things that we didn't get to cover in the showcase.
Okay.
So, yeah, Dan?
Yeah, thanks. I'm Dan McAuliffe. I'm the general manager for Destiny 2. And that mostly means that I get to support all the amazing talent that makes this game. So thanks for sitting down with us today.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
I'm Joe. I'm the game director on Destiny 2. And actually, while Taylor and Liz were doing the intro, I was hiding behind a pillar for the last 10 seconds. So y'all can like roll back the VOD and see if I did a good job or not.
Awesome. So let's get into some questions. As a player, what are you guys most hyped about regarding the final shape and beyond? Anything specific you can call out?
For me, I'm really excited about the story. I mean, this is going to be like the epic conclusion to the Light and Darkness saga. Like, players are finally going to get to go into the Traveler,
you really
confront
don't.
the Witness.
You really don't want to fuck this
I'm
up.
just really excited to get to watch everybody play it out as soon as they can. Can we make it live right now?
I don't think so.
I tried. Anyway, what about you, Dan?
Oh, for me, I mean, it's a lot about the supers, right? Like, I just think we have this ability with these supers coming out to shift the meta in a really exciting way. And like, I just haven't played through them and gotten some hands on them. Sorry, like no spoilers, but like, I think they're going to play in all parts of the game. So I think you're going to see these in the campaign, obviously, but you're going to see these in PvP, and they really feel like that
it's kind of like
sort of pinnacle achievement of our Guardians journey in a lot of ways. So
like
just really
Forsaken.
excited to see the final product.
Well, we don't know if it's like Forsaken.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's maybe surprising. It's the weapons. And I know, like...
Shock.
Yeah. We make a lot of weapons on Destiny 2, right? And so why are we excited about the weapons this time? I think the team sort of really looked and said, what's core to Destiny, right? Like, what's really important? And we said, hey, like, Destiny's at its best when you're getting a bunch of new weapons, and those weapons are so exciting that they are making it onto your character right away. They're like changing the way you play. So this is not just exotics, right? It's not just like, I think it was alluded to, like, what if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle? Pretty cool sniper rifle.
Really?
I think it's also, we talked about these new, weapon subtypes. And so what's a support auto rifle? We've made guns that heal before. We've made exotics that do it. Well, if we do it in a legendary, what needs to be different about it so we can make this thing that feels as useful to a fire team as someone bringing Gjallarhorn, that feels as useful as someone, bringing Divinity, right? And we know that's the bar that we have to hit. So we're looking at a bunch of different things and saying, okay, we're gonna make these guns and we're gonna make them matter, right? We're gonna go out and you're gonna get awesome stuff on, the Pale Heart. I think we showed a little bit of it. There's like these sweet, they look like a deck of cards if you go back and watch the footage. And there's a bunch of awesome stuff coming in the weapons. And so I think we're really just trying to hit that core, like, hey, we're a loot game, right? Like, the loot should be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, me too. So speaking of the Pale Heart, the reveal
I'm most interested about that.
Heart destination is the first linear destination ever done. So can you talk us through why it was decided to make it more linear destination?
All right, linear.
And
like,
what it means.
Yeah. So
the math lesson now.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many folks have been in algebra recently, but if you're like me and need a little refresher, linear.
Please.
Line, right?
Walk
like
me
that's
through
what
it.
we're saying here. So a classic Destiny destination, we think of it as a loop, right? There are these big public areas. They're all connected in a circle. And then from those areas, there's little offshoots. There are little alleyways that you can go to. And that just didn't make sense for going inside the Traveler. One, because the Traveler is huge. When we talk about the Pale Heart, we're saying, like, hey, what if you were an alien, you landed on Earth, and the only part of Earth you saw was like a parking lot in Montana. And you were like, oh, this place is huge, right? Like, it's sort of like, okay, so we're going to show you a really small slice of what is inside the Traveler. And then we said, it needs to feel like you're going somewhere important. It's a vast, unknowable place. Okay, well, on one end, we've got the portal. And on the other end, we've got the Witness that's built this giant monolith. And so every single area that we've built is built in a consecutive line from one to the other. So you travel through these things and you can look back at once you once were. And if you need to go to the next part, you're not going into these offshoots that dead end. You are going to where you need to be going. It's really focused on, hey, you've got a job to do here.
So it's like tracking your journey.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds insane. So
no, it doesn't.
Super different.
That's what we go for.
During the showcase, it was also mentioned that completing the campaign would unlock the full destination, and that it almost like reacts as we progress. Is that kind of what you're hinting at, or can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I think two things we want people really to come away with thinking when they think about it.
So it's like Forsaken.
this is a bit different in the way that you experience the Pale Heart right away. So
Right.
normally you might land on the throne world and you do a mission, and then you're out with your Sparrow exploring the throne world, doing the missions if you want to.
Mhm.
Day one of the Final Shape, you got a job to do, right?
Okay.
And so it is mission, 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 mission,
Right.
mission, right? And you just go through and you say, hey, we've got to stay focused on this thing. When you get to the end of that day one experience, everyone can sort of like collectively take a breath, collect themselves, and then you just have this realization like, oh, we're like inside the Traveler, right? Like we should probably go see what that's about.
Right.
And so the whole destination unlocks for you. And there's a lot of things that are different about the Pale Heart than our other destinations. I think we're gonna save some of those juicy tidbits for what's different about this destination and how it sort of compares to what we've done in the past. But yeah, it's a pretty different experience than even what you might expect in somewhere like the Dreaming City.
And for real, like we do want to save some of these juicy tidbits, not just because it's fun, but because like, I mean, the Traveler's just been this inscrutable godlike sphere that people have wanted to know more about for so long.
All right.
And like, this is their opportunity to experience some of that mystery. And I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Well, it's alive, right? So what can you really expect?
Yeah, I think we talked about this. We showed a little bit. The section that you're in, it's shaped off of who's there, right? And so who's been there?
That's so cool.
The Witness, right? The Witness
messing stuff up.
Yeah, chilling right there. We're trying to knock on the door. We don't know how to get inside. And and we're gonna make it eventually. And so it's got this both really unique aspect to it, and a
I
bunch
hope
of
the
the GL looks
Traveler
like
is
stuff
some
that you've
kind of
never seen
person.
before. A bunch of these places feel like, this heaven on one side, hell maybe in the middle, crazy destiny surrealness at the end. And then there are these accents of like, oh, I'm at like a crazy heavenly beach. And then you see this giant ghost carved into a mountain, or you see the D1 tower erecting out of this. And so, we're really excited to sort of give people this like distilled Destiny experience that still feels really new when you're in there.
Okay, that's interesting.
So Dan, we've got feedback from players who wanted to learn more about the origins of the Witness and the Veil during the Lightfall campaign.
Yeah.
Rather than
Yes.
later on in the seasons. So
Yeah, you
players have
fucked this
big
up.
narrative expectations for the Final Shape. How are we taking this feedback and making this the epic
Yes,
conclusion
please
that
address
story
this.
deserves?
Please do.
Oh yeah, no, I mean this is the sort of fun of the challenge for this, right? Because the Light and Darkness saga has been such a focal through line for really most of Destiny's existence, right? Like it is this
We still
epic
have the
story.
9
Joe was just talking about,
storyline.
some of that sort of culmination of experience inside the Pale Heart, and so this is a spot where we have to really land that culmination in a satisfying way, right? Like there's a confrontation that's been happening. There's a story that's been being told. This part of the Destiny world, we have to end really well, and the players deserve that, and the story deserves that. And so there's some things we're doing to account for that. But in addition, we have to set up the next set of stories. We're going to talk probably more about episodes in a bit, but like starting after the Final Shape with the new episodes framework that we're rolling out, we're going to tell all different stories, and we'll learn more about the world of Destiny moving forward. So that's the unique challenge that we're taking very seriously, and to accommodate that, we've done more, I think, on the narrative side of the fence than we've even done in the past. More significant writers' rooms. We brought in more folks from even other parts of the studio to really kind of consult on this and make sure that all of our fans who probably know the Destiny lore better than I do are getting the pieces and answers to the questions that they want answered.
Yes.
Unless we want to save some of those questions for the future stories that we're going to tell. There's more to it that you and the team have been doing as well, if you want to talk to that.
Yeah, probably to steal a little bit from Cosmos and Pika's questions and give them the note card shuffle here in a minute. I think one of the things that we knew that was going to be challenging about this is, hey, we're telling the climax of the story. We know that, hey, when you get in the Final Shape, in those first moments, we want you to feel like, okay, Bungie delivered on this promise, of becoming legend, delivered on
Yeah, you really need to do that.
Putting a bow on the Traveler and Pyramid story.
You really need to do
The thing
that.
that was also important for us is like, okay, well, you're gonna confront the Witness, the biggest bad in Destiny. Okay, we think you have to confront the Witness in the raid, right? Like a version
Yes.
of Destiny's
Yes, you need
chronological
to.
history where it's like the Witness was tough. Not quite as tough as Valkaor, right? Like it's probably not a thing that our players are going to be super happy about. Not a thing I'm going to be happy about. And so
Please,
what we really think
please,
is this day one
please
experience
make this the hardest
is
raid
sort of
ever.
like
I beg
the,
you.
Penultimate episode or the, right before the season finale of your favorite TV show. And it really sets the stage for, hey,
I hope
this is
going
exactly
to be epic.
what's going on in the world of Destiny. The stakes have never been higher. You go through a pretty epic journey. And then we say, okay, now we have to have this raid beat. And so it's sort of a reverse Taken King. If some of our people remember that moment in the Taken King, we delivered a thing where, hey, day one, for 80% of our players, they're like, I dealt with Oryx. And then for like 20%, there was this other thing that they could go do, have another experience with Oryx.
Right.
And so for this one, we say, hey, want everyone to go really set up what's happening in the final shape. And then for everyone, right, and we're not going to get into that, right, you should all wait for the raid, right? Like, and we're going to like help make sure everyone is brought along for the end of this journey. I think it takes a lot of our learnings from both really classic experiences like Crota and Oryx and sort of infuses them with what we've been doing with things like Savathûn and Callus and like taking all that lessons and saying, okay, we think we can do this the right way.
Yeah, and also just for something like this, when you complete the circle of this story that we've been telling, we want to make sure that we're paying homage to the things of the past, and we're talking through just so many of the things that have made this story what it is, but also telling it in a way where if you're coming into the final shape as your first experience, you can enjoy the mission, you can enjoy the campaign, you can understand what is happening.
Right.
But there's just a lot more if you have
What
almost a decade's worth of
makes
Destiny
Witch
play
Queen
knowledge
good.
that you can look at.
Which is
So
a good
it kind of
thing.
sounds like that means I have to play the raid to get the full story?
No. Now, while we're really excited about something like Fireteam Finder coming in and making it easier for anyone to get into the raid and experience those beats, I think the different part from our strategy sort of as in the past was we said, hey, there's something more for those who raid. There is a piece of the story, right, that is told in the raid. There's a piece that's essential. But it is definitely not going to be a moment where only raiders get to see the end of the Light and Darkness saga. Right.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So we carefully skirt around 1,000 plot points here.
So we showed a glimpse of the new enemy, the Subjugators. Are they going to be as terrifying as the Tormentors? Like, what sets them apart from previous enemies?
Yeah, I really want to know that.
Yeah, we were running through some questions yesterday, just like this. Spoiler alert: we do practice a little bit. Like we do think about this. And I got in trouble because I said several obscenities last time I did this. So I'm not going to do that today on stream.
Who scolded you?
It could have been anyone. Osmo, it could have been anyone that scolded me.
Okay.
And so I've been playing a lot of the Final Shape recently, probably surprising to no one. Subjugators are very different than Tormentors. Tormentors are sort of like this Kool-Aid man that busts through the wall and is like saying, all right, look at me, right? Oh, okay.
I love Tormentors from day one. After that, they became a joke.
They come out
but,
in these moments where you feel like you have a battlefield full of enemies. And then you hear the pyramid screech sound.
There's a sound.
And a subjugator beams in, and it's like they're the ultimate sort of backfield tactician, right? And they're doing things like giving everyone around it little pyramid buddies. Like you've been shot in PvP with an Arc Soul. Like imagine 10 taken Scions. And suddenly,
hell yes!
You all had little pyramid
buddies.
Hell
yes!
Oh, thanks, Subjugator, right? And so there's still these moments where you're like,
that seems amazing. That is fucking amazing.
You might want to hold on to some heavy ammo when you're playing through the campaign, just in case this busts through. I think one other thing that we've really learned from both Tormentors and Light Hive is we started building these sort of like captain-y units, right? These things that feel scary. And we're very careful in both Witch Queen and in Lightfall to make sure, hey, we don't want to overuse these. We don't want this to become a thing where you get a bounty and it's like, kill 20 Light Hive. Oh, wow, they're just everywhere. And I think we're striking an even better balance now that we have a palette of these captains where it feels like, hey, I'm getting these like really meaty sandbox experiences. And we know how to sort of engage them in both the destination and the strike and the mission. So I'm really happy with a bunch of the learning the team has been taking as we continue to make these things.
Oh, totally. Yeah, my super basic take from having played it is that, like, and I didn't know how this was going to play out until I experienced it. Joe described it really well, but it's what I want from these units as a player is I want that moment of ha and insert obscenity here so Cosmo doesn't yell at me. Right. But like, and the Subjugator absolutely delivers that in the same way that I felt from the Tormentor, and the same way I definitely felt the first time I saw the Light Hive. But it's just, to Joe's point, it's a very different way, right? Like it is, when it comes out, like I'm just as terrified and worried for myself and my fire team, but for different reasons,
right?
And with different tactics, and you have to approach them a very different way. So I think it feels very good to me, at least as a player.
Why am I already nervous?
Because whatever he just described, what you were picturing, is probably lighter than what's actually going to happen. Like Pyramid Buddies are Arc Souls, and yeah, to say.
I'm picturing some, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. Okay, so Dan, this is for you. Your favorite, or everyone's, not yours, everyone's favorite hunter, Cayde 6, is seemingly back from the dead. Can we get a little bit of the story on that?
I mean, I'll happily take this one because I love talking about Cayde 6. I mean, here's the reality. We've been talking about this all coming full circle, and Joe was talking about the campaign as mission. You have a mission. There's a thing that has to happen.
Okay.
And like both as players and developers, it was just hard to picture finishing this fight without Cayde 6, right? And
so we brought him back.
So we brought Cayde 6 back, and you're going to get less details than you want, but but Cayde 6 is back for this fight, and it was super important to us as you go through to have Cayde 6, Zavala, Ikora, on comms talking through, and I think the most critical part of that is it's Cayde 6 with Nathan Fillion, and I don't know about everybody else, but like Joe and I were talking about this yesterday, and I think Joe said it really well, which is, like when you're playing through the builds as you're going through, and the moment Nathan's line started actually coming through recorded, man, it just hits different, right? Like it just changes the dynamic for me as far as like what I feel about what's going through, the sort of complexities of the story. Right. But the part that's important, I think, to know is that like, this is Cayde. Like Cayde is back, Cayde is with you on this journey. He is your guide through the Pale Heart.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff that we're not going to talk about just yet because I want players to experience it. But yeah, anything more you want to add there? It's exciting.
No, we'll probably say this a few times. We were like, what's the final shape? How are we going to do this? What's really important? We really wanted to make sure that this experience felt like the most distilled version of Destiny. Yeah. Like it's Destiny dialed up to 11. It is the like Destiny extract that if you were baking with, you're like, you only need a few drops. Like this is very potent. For us, we knew, hey, we've been planning this narrative roadmap out for a long time. We were like, okay, we know we need to make the best of this moment that we have with Cayde here. But I think it was really, again, as the VO starts to come in and you're in these missions, you're like, oh, that's like Cayde 6 talking to me. And even, I wouldn't say everyone's favorite hunter. I mean, Eris Morn might have something to say about that. But yeah, it really starts to be like, okay, yeah, this is that distilled Destiny experience.
Yeah. I'm now picturing Destiny extract on the Bungie store. I don't know what it's for,
I think you got something here, actually. Yeah. You could bottle this.
Yeah. Not sure what it smells like.
All right, that sounds pretty cool.
I don't even want to speculate.
That sounds pretty.
So we've been talking about Final Shape. Let's talk about episodes. We've seen some feedback from the players that the seasonal model has gotten a bit predictable at times.
Really,
we just saw in the showcase our content cadence is getting refreshed with this episode model. Can you talk us through what episodes are and how they're going to be different than seasons?
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, let's start with sort of what episodes are at their core, right? I think the easiest way to think about episodes is the natural evolution of the seasonal model. Because the seasonal model's done a lot of great things for Destiny. I think we've run seasons for the better part of 3 years at this point, and it has allowed us to deliver really quality experiences at a 3-month, very fast cadence, really move the story forward. Right, I think we've told some great stories, introduced some new activities, new mechanics, really moved everything forward. The problem is, and if we're being honest with ourselves, and I'm going to be honest with ourselves, like we really biased towards consistency to do that, right? Like we wanted to deliver it quality, we wanted to deliver it on time, all the time to the player.
Absolutely,
but
all
that
the time.
made the experience somewhat repetitive, like almost sort of by design in a certain way, which is now I think stretched out to the end of its utility. So episodes change up the framework and change up the delivery cadence.
Okay.
So there are 3 episodes a year. The first one will start alongside the final shape, and parts of it will start a little bit after. We can touch on that in a sec. But these 3 episodes are split into 3 acts each.
Okay.
And this means 2 things, really. One, that now what you're really looking at is 9 beats a year that are 6 weeks apart. And each of these beats gives us an opportunity to materially change the state of the game, to materially move the meta forward, introduce new story, introduce new weapons, new perks, new activities. And it doesn't have to be so formulaic. So it allows us to do what I think Destiny does really well, which is get a little weird at times. It allows us to throw, I have some really bad baseball metaphors I'm not going to use, but like throw some curveballs into.
You just said you weren't going to use the baseball
metaphors.
Use the bad
one.
Okay.
That's a good one. I can get really deep with this metaphor, and it's going to be interesting to about 4 people, so we're not going to do that. But like, it allows us to react more to what else is going on in the game. It allows us to change up the way we look at content delivery in a way that I think is just strictly better for all of us who are players, right? Like these 6 weeks, the 6 weeks in between major beats, I think is a really good way for players to, play Destiny in where, within their own lifestyle, how it fits into the white space of their life. I think it allows us to introduce different things, to try some different things, like I said, make it weird, and really start to experiment in a couple of places because of not everything has to be there all at once, right at the top.
Right.
So I think
that seems.
I think what episodes allows us to do is to not only continue telling stories in a new and pretty interesting way, but it also allows us to just really amp up the variety of the types of things that we can bring and when we can bring them into the game, which I think is just going to be a great experience.
That seems pretty good.
Absolutely. What does that mean for the reward track?
Yeah, what does that mean for the
so
rewards?
one of the most interesting things that we're doing with episodes is probably how they start.
Okay.
So
how they start?
For us, again, we've talked a lot. It's like pretty important that when the final shape is happening, everyone in the universe is saying, you know what's important? This whole thing that's going on in the Traveler right now. We've got to stay really focused. So we wanted the episodes to be a reaction to what happens when the final shape resolves. Right?
Okay.
And so this means both. We don't want to tell a competing story at the same time.
True.
And we want, hey, once the first episode kicks off, for it to be in the context of what happens in the final shape. So the majority of the narrative content, the activity content, really when the episode begins, happens that reset after the raid. However, right away, we know there are some systems that just need to be online. So the reward track, you're going to be able to get Red Death, log into the game, claim it from the past. I've been using it a lot in playtests. It's a solar weapon. Can I say that? So like a little bit like yeah. Someone from the weapons team is like, I just said it was a solar weapon. I think we're excited for that. And there's even a few stuff that you're going to be able to get weapon-wise from the episodes themselves. We have another sub-archetype that's going to be out there. We haven't talked about what sub-archetype that is, but we might see it in I think it's the kind of thing that people are going to be like, oh, I might bring this to the Raids World First race. And so we're excited for both having some of this content available right away, but keeping that meat of that narrative, keeping what's important for the story in the world of Destiny to say, no. We're going to say everyone's on the same page when this kicks off. If you are in episode 1, you're hearing those lines of dialogue, you're getting those story beats, everyone is saying, okay, we all just saw what happened, right? Like we were all there for that. And like, yeah, we were.
And nuts and bolts wise, so episodes, we're still going to run season passes alongside episodes.
Yeah.
And so before, where was a season pass specific to a season? Now it's actually going to reset at every act. So you'll have 100 ranks for the first act of each episode, and then 50 additional will be added for each subsequent act. So 200 ranks throughout the course of an entire episode. And that length actually allows us to add some more stuff to it, right?
Yeah, I think we want to make sure that those additional ranks in Act 2 and Act 3 are really rewarding. And so we both learned from our players, like, hey, we really value this. Can we get more of this? And so, like, great, we got that. And then we're also just going back to some old experiments. One of the things I'm really excited about is, in the 30th anniversary, we tried this experiment where, like, we're going to give everybody a tiger helmet, right? And it's like silver and it glows. And I'm like, yeah. And Hunters, Titans, Warlocks, they can all wear it. I'm like, maybe we should do that again. Maybe that should be what's on the very end of the pass, where you not only is there, a unique armor set, but at the end you can be like, hey, and I was there. I did the whole thing right now. I got like this awesome helmet, and everyone wears the same thing. Yep. So we're excited to be taking a lot of learnings and pushing this and saying, okay, I think we've made a thing that players are gonna be able to sink their teeth into and feel rewarded from and be excited about.
But is it going to get
I like the idea of having like a unique reward to an episode. That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, you answered the question about 2 separate narratives, so we don't need that card anymore. Good. What about the artifact, like the perks? Like, are players going to have a different experience there, or are they going to get the same kind of like day one? Or
yeah, so day one, you're going to see something that looks exactly what you expect the artifact to look like, right? It's got the same amount of rows and columns. We've really been honing in on how to like make each artifact feel different.
Okay.
What's going to happen, though, is when Act 2 rolls around, some magic space appears at the top of the artifact, and a whole nother row appears.
Nice.
And so this is not meaning you're going to get less in Act 1. You're going to get the same amount you're used to. But Act 2 brings another row. Whole new ways to modify the game. And Act 3, another row on top of that. So we really want these acts to feel like, hey, it's not just that we're bringing new activity content in. It's not just that we're bringing new narrative content in. We are shaking up the meta. There's new rewards, there's new ways to play, there's new nightfalls in the rotation. Right? All of this is sort of what we're pitting out. It's like, yeah, we love this idea of, players finishing the final shape, an episode kicking off, and then just being a few weeks away from like, wait, Act 2 is like weeks away? And you're like, yeah, it's right around the corner. And then they're in Act 2 and like, oh, Act 3 is weeks away? Yeah. Like, how can we make sure that Destiny always feels like it's changing and evolving?
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be like really refreshing.
I just want more world events, man. I just want more things.
Can you tell us what happens after the first 3 episodes? What's next with Destiny 2?
So the episodes are our new storytelling framework. You're going to get less information than you want, but they allow us to really move the story forward in different ways. And so one of the things that we want to experiment with is, can we make some of these episodes more standalone stories? Do they have to all interconnect? Can you play them in specific orders, things like that? And so, so after the episode 3, the intention is to continue rolling episodes forward and keep telling different stories and take whatever learnings that we get from the first 3 episodes and start to evolve the framework.
Yeah, so and I don't think Dan's gonna kill me here, but we'll see. So maybe keep the coffee cup out of his hand.
I'm waiting for a spit take.
We got a lot of people. Most of them are at home. I was going to point to the other side of the office. Most of us work from home now. That are working on Destiny 2 and are going to still be working on Destiny 2 after the final shape. And so,
I'm not going to kill you for that.
It is true. It is not just episodes. Like, we know there's a bunch of content and there's different ways that we can get that into players' hands. And those folks still want to make that content, like the awesome stuff that we're sort of known for. And so, again, we'll be a little coy here today. But yeah, just to go back to what Robbie was saying, like, hey, we got some more tread on the tires here, and we're excited to show you where we're driving.
Yeah, and again, to what we were saying before, we think the episode model with the 3-act structure allows more like flexibility for us to make some of that cool content and make some different content. Okay. And I think the team is pretty excited about that too.
So episode 4. Maybe. Who knows?
You got to find out what happens in the first 3 episodes.
All right, so...
All right, here's the entire story. No.
All right, well, I cracked the code. What are some changes that are coming that will make it easier to get my friends in the game?
There's a ton. I mean, there's a ton. So we'll go through some specifics, but like finding ways to make it easier for people to group up and play together and improve that experience.
That's pretty
cool. A pretty big focus for the last year and a half and moving forward. I'm thinking with Joe on time because, time's hard, especially in quarantine. But
so we got Fireteam Finder coming in Season 23?
Absolutely, yeah. But even before we get into the specifics, like Destiny's just better when you're playing with friends. It's better in groups. It's better with a fire team. And so being able to build that fire team and being able to play the best content is the sort of overarching goal for what we're trying to do. And yeah, so we got Fire Team Fire, we got Fire Team Power, we've got Timeline,
Reflections.
That's
and we probably got another scoop or two. I'm making sure that Kelly isn't opening that door to run over and tackle me before I give another thing here. Season 22. Oh, we can say Season of the Witch now. Season of the Witch.
Yep. That's right.
Today is coming out with a thing that we sort of call like the main quest update. This is an update to your quest page.
Okay.
Where we're like taking over that front page and saying, hey, this is the big quest. And here's another quest that's important. And so we think super important for our new players that get inundated with a ton of content to go see. And they're like, what are my friends focused on? Can I make sure that's out? This is great for them. It's also great for people that are already playing Destiny and the like, okay, I finished day one of the final shape. And you're like, I got a lot of, which ones are the important ones, right? Which ones are first? And so there's a group of, a big group of developers here who are always looking and saying, okay, what's the next pain point for Destiny players?
Sure.
And so we're really excited about Fire Team Power.
Next pain point
I think it's going to both be a way that
enough, but,
for engaged Destiny players to still really care about getting their power up and their light up. But also allow, I've got friends that haven't played Destiny in a while, and I would love to just say to them, hey, just get in the game. Whatever guns you have, you're going to group up with me. We're going to do the dungeon.
Yep.
We're going to go play PvP. We're going to go do this thing, and you're going to be able to enjoy yourself. And there's still this incentive for them, like, okay, well, I'd rather be not 5 under Joe's power and seeing him beat me on the damage tables, right? Like, let's get, let's clear that gap. But for a bunch of people that want to come back and play with their friends, I think we're doing a lot here. We're excited about Fire Team Finder as well. Like, I think there's going to be this whole new influx of Guardians in Season 23.
Okay.
They're going to be like, Last Wish. So what's that all about, right?
What
like
is
I've
Jen
heard some
saying?
things.
I want to know
There's
what
a dragon
Jen's
there. Let's go. Let's just go check that out. And I think it's a big precursor to what we want Destiny to be. We want to stop hiding our best content by a bunch of walls behind people and say, no, come in here, experience this. There's a lot to chase. Even after you access the content. So let's make it easier to access the content.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. It's just that, like, I want an experience for Guardians between Fire Team Finder and Fire Team Power, and where you can come into the game and be like, I heard that's the best content in the game. I want to be able to go play it. And be able to go play it. Right?
Are you this tall? Sorry.
Yeah, you can't ride the ride. Exactly. Like, I feel called out. But in all seriousness, like, that's the goal behind all these systems. And I think Joe painted a really good picture of why it's still important for the really, top end players to really want to go and keep themselves as high end and have all the weapons and all that stuff, even for that content.
Joe
but give those other players the ability to try it, because I think that's where Destiny's at its best, is some of those.
And we didn't talk a bunch about this, but we know that Guardian Ranks has done a bunch for our new players this year in helping them get through and onboard the systems. But Guardian Ranks wasn't able to solve, like, okay, I understand what a mod is, but who are these people? Who are the Hive? Who is Cade 6? Everyone keeps talking about Cade 6. And so Timeline Reflections, we're not going to put Bife out of business anytime soon, but getting that experience in-game to be able to go, look, hey, I want to go to the timeline. I want to read a thing. I can watch a thing.
Are still pissed
and I can play a thing, right? Like, it's one thing to hear about Cade. It's another thing to play with Cade.
Right.
And I think that for, a bunch of our new players, it's going to be an exciting way to experience some content. And I think even some of our older players are just going to be like, you know what I want to go do today?
A little nostalgia.
I want to go hang out with Cade 6 in a prison.
That's right.
I like it. So can you kind of explain how Fire Team Power works for us?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways that we're really thinking about power in Final Shape and beyond. One is what we're calling power fixed activities. And so this is stuff like free roam destination, the regular strikes queue, the base power of an exotic mission, right? Which we're really excited. Like, we want to build more Seraph Shields. We want to build more Presages. And so for a bunch of this, we're going to say, even if you don't have a friend, right, go into this, bring whatever you want. we've adjusted the difficulty for it to just feel good to play.
Okay.
Right? So we know you want to go around the destination and be able to one-shot
that
dregs
seems
with the hand
pretty
cannon.
good.
We also want the destination to put up a little bit of resistance and to feel like maybe I can't be shot by 15 dregs. And so like we're dialing in that power, but we're saying, okay, this is a great like base experience. For the story of Final Shape, that experience is power fixed. So you're gonna get power upgrades, but you don't have to equip them, right?
Right.
Then,
So
post that,
what
we're
about
saying,
the new
hey,
subclass?
We've got a bunch of power-enabled activities
I want
too.
to
There's the aspirational
see
stuff.
what that new
the raid,
subclass
the
is
dungeon,
about.
trials, right? For this, say, okay, I care about power. And so we've got an employee that we like to pick on here, a guy by the name of Matt Noguchi, who is
People are still
a
pissed off.
very hardcore Destiny
Most
player.
dedicated.
I think that I'm a hardcore Destiny player, and then I look at my friends list, I'm like, how is his pass level this high, right? Like, and so we still want to say, hey, you feel like you're rewarded and engaged, but you can go into Nightfall and let's say, hey, you've been out across the world doing good deeds. You weren't able to play Destiny for the last 3 months. You come back and say, I like Destiny, but what I really like are dungeons, really like are raids. Yeah. Okay, get in Matt Noguchi's fire team. Anyone that's in, a pre-made fire team, whether you made this fire team in Fire Team Finder or whether you made it from your friends list, it's going to look at, say, who's the highest fire team, like who's the highest power level, and then it's going to take that and say, we're dialing the numbers. I think right now it's 5. It might be 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, okay, everyone in here, 5 below, no matter what. Now, if you're close on that, great. We're gonna respect your power. But no matter what guns you have, no matter what armor you have, we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna take this all up. And so you don't have to worry about, hey, I don't have the new stuff that I need. Instead, we're like, hey, go play the raid and then go get the new really good raid weapons, right? Like that's the thing we want you to be caring about.
Okay.
Not that you can't step in the content at all, right? Focus on the optimization, not on the requirement.
That seems
So I can load
pretty
in
good.
with the green loadout?
You want to. Listen, I put on some armor that can't take resistance mods, and that's a bold choice.
But doable.
But doable, yeah. We will not. So I'm sure we'll see some wacky raid clears that are like, I did it all in the Broken Parade set. And I'm like, you certainly did.
That sucks for you.
Yeah.
What about with trials? It's like the one kind of like PvP the thing that.
Yeah. So we know there are some important reasons to keep power on in trials and really try to keep that a fair playing field. And so right now it's power enabled, and we're going to have a switch where we're going to say, hey, we're going to test out Fireteam power in this.
Okay.
Because 1, we want to make sure that we keep that experience in a good spot.
Okay.
2, like it is an experience where I've got this friend Shane, and he is a master with Golden Gun. But he plays Destiny off and on. I would love to be able to say, Shane, we're playing trials this weekend, and I know you haven't played in a while. Please just put the client back on, get inside, and him just be able to go. And I'll have better weapons, I'll have better armor, but he's still going to pop Golden Gun and get us 2 kills every time. And so I think we do want to still have that, experience for even at the high end of PvP. We just want to make sure we do it right. And so it is something that we are
good.
walking in carefully and saying, okay, we're going to try this. We're going to test it. If it doesn't work, we're going to find a different solution.
Bunny.
Yeah, and
Bunny,
specifically, we're gonna,
whoa!
we want us to have room to experiment.
That has nothing
so
to do
I
with
think Joe's
any
right.
of
Where we'll
this.
start off with it power enabled.
I have nothing to
sometime
say
during the
anymore.
episode. We'll flip that switch, and we'll
I am
communicate that
beginning
out. We'll
to
make
get
sure everyone's
tired
aware that it's
of
coming,
this. I might
and we'll see how it
stop
goes.
streaming
And if it goes
soon.
really well, we'll figure out what to do with that next. And if it doesn't, we'll figure out if
Boy,
there's something else we
oh
need to try
boy.
differently. But yeah. So I'm excited to see if it gets more variety of players into trials and more people who didn't feel like they could do it before give it a go, which would be interesting.
That sounds great. So
How many
kind of on that
questions are
note, the
there
in-game LFG has been an ask for a long time. Can we talk about the Fireteam Finder experience a little bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is probably, I'm a big LFG user. Like when someone's like, Joe, we want to raid this time, this day. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing that time. That day. My desired raid experience is that I log in and I say, I have, an hour, I have 2 hours, and I'm like, I want to raid right now. So I'll get on my friends list, and if I don't have friends on to play with, I will go to one of the community-run LFGs. And that's there are so many great services out there that do this.
Right.
But for a bunch of players, they don't understand that exists. They don't have access to this. It can be a pretty big hurdle to just be like, hey, I'm just looking to do the, legend version of this activity. I could just go in game and say,
I think we're gonna cut
I'm not
stream.
quite comfortable with match.
I think we're gonna cut stream. I think we have streamed for long enough. Nobody's waiting anymore. So thank you for watching. My thoughts. Yeah, it's pretty fine. Looks fine. Looks okay. Yeah, I think it looks fine. Looks okay. And yeah, you will not be seeing any content from me anytime soon. I will be using this channel in order to do some other things. So yeah, thank you for watching.